Have you ever wondered about the profound impact of grief and loss on our lives? Today, we're unraveling this complex emotional journey that everyone, at some point in their lives, inevitably embarks on. Grief and loss are universal experiences. Yet they're often misunderstood. Many believe that grief is a linear process, a series of stages to be checked off until one day, we're over it. But reality paints a different picture. It's a winding road filled with ups and downs, where progress doesn't always mean moving forward. In our exploration today, we'll shed light on the 10 negative effects of grief, illuminating how it can touch every aspect of our lives. From the emotional toll to the physical symptoms. From social withdrawal to identity crisis. We'll dissect how grief and loss leave indelible marks on our psyche. Ready to delve deeper into the world of grief and loss? Prepare to understand its profound effect on our lives. Emotional drain. First on our list is the emotional drain. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack up a steep hill, every step growing more difficult. That's what grief can feel like. It's an emotional weight that drains your energy, leaving you feeling empty and worn out. Think about a time when you lost something or someone dear to you. Didn't it feel like a part of you was missing? Like you were running on empty? That's the emotional toll of grief. Grief, therefore, can leave us emotionally exhausted. Physical symptoms. Next, we explore the physical symptoms. It's not just your emotions that take a hit when you're grieving. The turmoil of loss can also trigger physical discomforts. Unrelenting sleep disturbances, fluctuating appetite, and a general sense of malaise are common. Even more, it can exacerbate existing health issues or create new ones, as your body struggles to adjust to the emotional upheaval. So, don't underestimate the toll grief can take on your physical health. The body, it seems, grieves alongside the mind. Cognitive impairments. Thirdly, we tackle cognitive impairments. Grief, though primarily seen as an emotional response, often leaves its mark on cognition as well. This can manifest as forgetfulness, a sudden struggle to concentrate, or even challenges in making you might find yourself misplacing things more often, or getting lost in a book you would normally breeze through. Decisions. The mind, burdened by loss, sometimes falters in its usual tasks. This is yet another facet of how deeply grief can affect us. Remember, grief does not spare our cognitive functions. Social withdrawal. Now, let's discuss social withdrawal. Grief often acts like an unexpected guest, overstaying its welcome and leading many to retreat from social activities. This isolation can be a coping mechanism, a way to process the loss in solitude. But it's not just about avoiding parties or gatherings, it's about the loss of connection, the lack of desire to engage with the world around us. It's a ripple effect that touches every aspect of our lives. Grief can indeed be a lonely journey. Anxiety and depression. Moving on to the fifth effect, anxiety and depression. Grief is not just an emotional response. It can also open the door to serious mental health issues. Let's take John, for instance, who after losing his wife, felt a constant dread, a weight on his chest. He was anxious all the time. Then there's Mary, whose grief led her into a tunnel of unending sadness, a classic sign of depression. Grief can thus be a gateway to other mental health issues. It's like we're lost in a sea of self-doubt, unsure of who we are or what we stand for. It's like looking in a mirror and not recognizing the person staring back. Grief can make us question who we truly are. Substance abuse. Next, we look at substance abuse. The pain of grief can sometimes feel unbearable, leading some to seek relief in harmful substances. Alcohol, drugs, and even misuse of prescription medication can become a misguided attempt to numb the anguish. These substances may provide temporary escape, but they inevitably deepen the sorrow, creating a vicious cycle of dependency and despair. It's crucial to understand that substance abuse is not a solution, but a dangerous diversion. Grief can push individuals towards harmful coping mechanisms. Suicidal thoughts. The ninth effect is perhaps the most serious, suicidal thoughts. This is when the pain of loss becomes so intense, it seems unbearable. The world may appear colorless, the future bleak, and existence itself a burden. It's vital to remember this is a symptom of grief, not a solution to it. The despair from grief can sometimes seem unbearable. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Lastly, we discuss post-traumatic stress disorder. This is a condition that can develop following a traumatic event. It's not uncommon for grief, particularly stemming from a traumatic loss, to evolve into PTSD. This can manifest as intrusive thoughts, nightmares, or even flashbacks about the event. The world can start to feel unsafe, unpredictable. It's important to remember that these are not signs of weakness, but rather, they're human reactions to intense trauma. Grief can leave deep psychological scars. It's time we recap our journey through the landscape of grief and loss. We've explored the profound emotional drain that grief can cause, leaving us feeling empty and exhausted. We've delved into the physical symptoms that can manifest, from sleep disturbances to a weakened immune system. Our journey led us to the cognitive impairments that grief can trigger, such as difficulty concentrating or making decisions. We've also touched on the social withdrawal that often accompanies grief, as individuals retreat into their shells, isolating themselves from their social circles. The path of grief often leads to feelings of anxiety and depression, and in some cases, an identity crisis, as individuals struggle to redefine who they are without their lost loved one. In our exploration, we've also acknowledged the darker corners of grief, including the potential for substance abuse, suicidal thoughts, and even post-traumatic stress disorder. Understanding these effects can help us navigate the difficult journey of grief and loss. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or informative, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit from this information. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'll do my best to respond to as many as I can. Also, if there are any topics or ideas you'd like to see us cover in future videos, please let us know. And make sure to subscribe to our channel for more engaging and informative content. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.